It's time to have a look at this mystery canine illness that they say has been discovered. For those that don't want to listen to me talk or sit through this video, I'll just tell you right now. It's schistosomiasis. It's a snail parasite. It's also called Heterobilharzia. It's a pathogenic parasite on the move. This study is from 2021, published in 2021. So they already know about this, and this also affects humans. All the links will be in the description. So now let's have a look at what they got to say.
There is a parasite that has made its way to Southern California. We now know how you can avoid this parasite, and we now know where it comes from.
Okay, well, it comes from dogs, and you can avoid it by avoiding dogs. I mentioned this in my other videos. We are constantly bringing stray dogs in from other states to other states so people can sell them and make themselves look good. But that's where these parasites come from too. These dogs get the parasite from the snail. We don't know the history of the dog. They scoop it up in a van or plane or train and bring it to another state.
Tonight, we spoke with the scientist who made the discovery that could save your pet's life. In the past
Okay, this is not a discovery. This has been around for a while.
few years, close to a dozen Southern California dogs became sick, and one died from a mysterious infection. Mysterious because
we are not supposed to have it in California. This is something that's in Texas and further east.
Did you hear what he said? Texas. Yet, Texas is one of the main states that people go and scoop up tens and thousands of dogs and bring to other states. Okay, so this is in Southern California where all these sick dogs are. And now they're going to say that all of these sick dogs had swam here in this water.
all of the ill dogs had been swimming in the same place within 2 months of their diagnosis.
And that led us to
Okay. So,
a little city called Blythe in Riverside County on the Arizona-California border, right where the Colorado River.
okay, so they're blaming the Colorado River in Blythe, California is where these dogs swam, supposedly. So on the map is Blythe, California. So you're telling me all these dogs in Southern California drove all the way over to Blythe, California on Highway 10, which is just a desolate desert drive. I happen to know because I used to live on the Marine Corps base not far from there. So you're telling me all these sick dogs from San Diego, San Bernardino, Anaheim, etc. drove over here to swim in the Colorado River right there where you're saying all these snails are. That does not make any sense to me. Now you'll notice I did highlight all the dog parks that are real close to this river. And as we know, dog parks are full of dog feces. Dog feces is full of parasites. And the rainwater would have washed all those parasites right into that water right there. So they went to Blythe, California and collected these snails, they say.
And now this team from UC Riverside has proven the snails are to blame.
We were jumping up.
So the snails are to blame. These snails in Blythe have infected all of the Southern California dogs. And here is the parasite, the little worm that they are finding on the snails. So notice what they say.
The Colorado River could be risky.
So the Colorado River could be risky to your pooch, they just said. But they're not talking about humans because this is very dangerous to humans too. And they should be talking about it. One thing to note, in this video, they don't tell us the name of the parasite. Someone's even asked. So if we pop back over to Blythe, California, and look at some of the Google pictures of these parks, the waters are filled with dogs, which means the waters are going to have dog feces in them. Rainwater washing it off from the dog parks or not. Okay, now it's time to talk about dog poop. So dog poop is in the waterways all over the place. And here's a little thing about dog poop. We have, as of this article, 21.2 billion pounds of dog poop each year. 1 gram of dog poop contains 23 million fecal coliform bacteria, whipworms, hookworms, roundworms, parvo, coronavirus, giardia, salmonella, cryptosporidium, and campylobacter, among many other things. 42% of the controllable bacterial load in the water came from dog poop. Dog poop is a major issue. 8 years ago, they were talking about too much dog poop in the Rio Grande. Rio Grande poop sources, 21% is from dog poop. So what is the Rio Grande? It's a beautiful river. Dog poop in rivers. So I just wanted to show you that because they already know about this. And they already know that this also affects humans. So this is called schistosomiasis. It's caused by a parasitic flatworm that enters your skin from infected bodies of water. It is associated with bladder cancer. So let's just do a little quick overview here. It's caused by trematodes, schistosomes, also called blood flukes, parasitic flatworms, also known as snail fever. These are places that it can affect. Also USA, as they've just recently discovered. Here's some of the symptoms. It sounds like symptoms that people have all the time. So, liver problems, anything that is a hepatitis, swollenness of the liver. There's also another liver problem that is associated with dogs that just came up. So these are some of the problems you can have, including bladder cancer. Okay, the parasite leaves the snail and penetrates the human skin with its forked head. Okay, now back to the study I showed you in the very beginning. Now let's look at it a little bit. Okay, so this is a very thorough study, but I'll share a couple things from it with you. So first I want to show you something. They found a dog sick and other dogs in the household were sick. So the way that this spreads is not from dog to dog. It's from dog feces. The dog contacts the feces. So this is spreading to other dogs inside of households. So the parasite is also found in mammals. They find it in mammalian fecal samples. And what do dogs eat? Feces. So the study says that this schistosome is capable of infecting a broad range of mammals with potentially severe pathological consequences. In other places, it says warm-blooded mammals can be affected by this parasite. So this is not just a dog parasite. Whether or not the dog is the definitive host, the dog can bring it into our human environment. As I showed you a little bit ago in the study, the dog can give it to other dogs. So if the dog can give it to other dogs, it can give it to us because our world is filled with dog feces, and dog feces is where that parasite is going to get into our body, or feces particles, or saliva, or other parts of the dog's body that are constantly full of feces particles. Other publications also specify that this can affect other mammals. A warm-blooded mammal. I find it very curious that they say humans cannot directly become infected. They're using that ambiguous language. Can humans get flatworms from dogs? Well, from dog feces that is present everywhere in our society, and dog feces that pollutes our air, our soil, and our water. So they put that little word in there. Oh, not directly. Well, if you're contacting the waste products that come out of your dog's body, then you can. Something to consider in this whole parasite argument is more and more people are making it a cool thing to feed their dogs raw meat. Here is a short list of parasites in raw meat. It gets into the dog, the feces come out of the dog, and the human is an accidental host. So you couple this with the parasitic load of those snail parasites that can get into dogs. Dogs' immune systems are just hammered, which means all of these things can easily adapt to other mammals. There's no way that the scientific community can come up here and say, oh, that's not going to affect a human. It's just going to make your dog sick, make your dog die. But you're totally fine to be touching the dog's mouth and butt and poop particles. There's no way that they can say that. All of these little dudes, these cryptosporidiums and stuff, They're highly adaptable. They don't just go into the dog and then just, oh, well, we'll just infect the dog, and that's not how it works. These guys are adaptable. So all of these parasites are a risk, and we're making it more of a risk by feeding the dogs raw meat and by living in a world full of dog shit. So here's some of the recent news stories just on a quick internet search. And it's disappointing that they don't say that this heterobilharzia parasite can affect humans. They just say, worry about your dog, worry about your dog. Dog owners are warned of this. This affects humans and has affected humans before. So I want to give a shout out also to these snails. This is something else that these people don't consider or don't talk about. These snails are getting parasites, but they have the ability to fight off parasites. What do you think happens to their ability to fight off parasites when the waters that these snails live in are more and more polluted with toxic dog shit particles? Okay, these snails are getting hammered by the nastiness of dog feces, which means that the little microbiome that these snails have a microbiome on the outside of them that helps defend them from parasites. That microbiome is getting hammered by the nastiness of dog feces, just like our immune systems are when we breathe it into our lungs and our ears and everywhere else. So, again, even if dogs are not the definitive host of this parasite, the presence of dogs and the presence of their ever-growing waste affects our immune systems and probably affects these poor snails too. And then they're going to sit back and blame the snails. Poor guys. So that has been our look at Heterobilharzia, a flatworm commonly known as the liver fluke, canine schistosomiasis, and other things. So what do you guys think about all this? I will put a summary of everything I talked about in this video in the description, as well as all of the sources for this. See you guys in the next one.